Have you ever heard of Malaysia Airlines? Well, if you have, you probably know that it's been through some really tough times recently. But did you know that this airline was once one of the most respected and loved airlines in the world? Today, we take a look back at how it became what it is today and why so many people miss the old Malaysia Airlines. This is the sad decline of Malaysia Airlines. Starting off our story, the history of Malaysia Airlines actually began in 1947 when it was first established as a small domestic airline called Malaysia Airways Limited. The airline was a joint venture between two companies, the British Commonwealth Pacific Airlines and the Malayan government. At the time, the airline only served a single route between Singapore and Penang. However, by the early 1960s, the airline had grown rapidly and was serving destinations all over Southeast Asia. In 1963, Malayan Airways merged with another local airline called Federation Airways to create a larger and stronger company. This merger allowed the airline to expand its route network even further and to offer more services to its passengers. However, the airline faced a major setback in 1965, when the British withdrew their support for the company. Despite this setback, the airline continued to grow, and in 1971, it became the flag carrier of Malaysia after the split of Malaysia-Singapore Airlines. Throughout the 1970s, Malaysia Airlines focused on expanding its route network across Asia and the Middle East. By the end of the decade, the airline was serving over 20 destinations and had a fleet of over 30 aircraft. In the 1980s, Malaysia Airlines continued to grow, and it became one of the first airlines in Asia to introduce a frequent flyer program. The airline also began to receive international recognition for its excellent service. In 1984, it was awarded the title of World's Best Airline by the International Air Transport Association. This award was a testament to the hard work and dedication of the airline's employees, who were known for their warm hospitality and efficiency. By the late 1980s, Malaysia Airlines had become one of the leading airlines in Asia, and it was well on its way to becoming a major player on the world stage. In the 1990s, the airline experienced what many would call its golden era. It was widely regarded as one of the best airlines in the world, and its reputation for excellence was only surpassed by its reputation for hospitality. In fact, the airline even adopted the slogan, Malaysian Hospitality. In the early 1990s, during this time, the airline continued to expand its route network, and it also invested heavily in its fleet. In 1992, Malaysia Airlines became the launch customer for the Airbus A340-300, and it was also one of the first airlines to introduce the Boeing 777-200 to its fleet. These new aircraft allowed the airline to offer more comfortable and spacious cabins to its passengers, and they also helped to improve the airline's efficiency and reliability. But it wasn't just the airline's physical product that was impressive. The real secret to Malaysia Airlines' success during this time was its people. The airline's employees were known for their warm smiles and their willingness to go above and beyond to help passengers. This commitment to customer service was evident in everything from the airline's in-flight service to its baggage handling. And it was this combination of a modern fleet and exceptional customer service that allowed Malaysia Airlines to become one of the most successful airlines in the world during the 1990s. However, as the airline enjoyed its success, it didn't see what was coming. While Malaysia Airlines was soaring to new heights in the 1990s, there were some dark clouds on the horizon. The airline had always faced competition from other airlines in the region, but in the late 1990s, a new low-cost carrier emerged on the scene. AirAsia offered a cheaper alternative to Malaysia Airlines' more expensive fares, and it quickly gained popularity among budget-conscious travelers. This, coupled with the Asian financial crisis of 1997, which caused a sharp decline in air travel, forced Malaysia Airlines to make some tough decisions. The airline had to find a way to cut costs and compete with the likes of AirAsia without sacrificing its reputation for quality. In response, Malaysia Airlines made several changes to its operations, including reducing its workforce and selling some of its older aircraft. While these measures helped to keep the airline afloat, they also marked the beginning of the end for Malaysia Airlines. In the 2000s, the airline struggled to regain its profitability, and its reputation for excellence never fully recovered. But it was until 2014 that the airline suffered its greatest tragedy, and the whole world suffered along with it. On March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 departed Kuala Lumpur International Airport bound for Beijing. On board were 227 passengers and 12 crew members. The plane was a Boeing 777-200ER, and it was almost 8 years old. The flight was uneventful until the plane was about to enter Malaysian airspace. The air traffic controller tried to contact the pilots, but there was no reply. The plane was then handed over to Ho Chi Minh City Air Traffic Control. Again, there was no reply. Then the plane disappeared from radar. An extensive search was launched, but no trace of the plane was ever found. All 239 people on board are presumed dead. The disappearance of MH370 sent shockwaves around the world. It was the worst aviation disaster in Malaysia's history and one of the biggest mysteries in the history of commercial aviation. Investigators were baffled and theories abounded. Was it a mechanical failure, a pilot error, or something more sinister? Sadly, the truth is, no one knows. But it wasn't the only tragedy that struck the airline that year. 4 months later, on July 17, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 was flying from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur. The plane was a Boeing 777-200 and it was 13 years old. The plane was flying over eastern Ukraine when it was hit by a missile and shot down. On board were 298 people, 15 crew members and 283 passengers. Everyone on board was killed. It was later determined that the plane had been mistakenly shot down by a Russian anti-aircraft missile. But who was responsible for firing the missile? The Ukrainian government blamed pro-Russian separatists while Russia blamed the Ukrainian government. The incident was a tragedy on all fronts, and it caused an international incident between Russia and Ukraine. The shooting down of MH17 was a devastating blow to Malaysia Airlines. In addition to the loss of life, the airline suffered a major financial hit. The airline had to pay out millions of dollars to the families of the victims, and it also lost millions more in insurance claims. But perhaps the most important loss was the airline's reputation. MH17 was the deadliest aviation disaster in the history of Malaysia Airlines, and it left many people around the world wondering if it was safe to fly with the airline. In the aftermath of these two tragedies, the Malaysian government took over full control of Malaysia Airlines and began to restructure the company. While this move was seen as necessary to save the airline, it also marked the end of an era for Malaysia Airlines. The airline that once soared to new heights during the 1990s was now a shadow of its former self. While the future of Malaysia Airlines remains uncertain, one thing is clear. The airline will never forget the tragedies of 2014. MH370 and MH17 were some of the worst disasters in the history of commercial aviation, and they continue to haunt the airline and the world today. But that's all for today. What do you guys think about the airline's current state? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you want to watch more. Have a great day.